Hi dear students, welcome back all of you to the physics online class Royal Palace PU College Jamkhandi. Today we are at the end of the second PUC syllabus. The last chapter of this NCERT syllabus is semiconductor electronics, right? So the 14th chapter of the second PUC, chapter 14, semiconductor electronics. Yes, and this chapter is going to carry the total weightage of marks nearly 10 or 12 marks may come from this chapter, right? Then it is very important to focus on this chapter. Actually, last year the part of the chapter is reduced, that means the transistor part was reduced, but again when you consider the present syllabus for the academic year, again still the small portion of that was also removed. Then it is very good that you can score very good marks in this chapter. So only the focus is to on the what are the semiconductor device, and here also maximum the fixed questions are there. If you practice that questions, definitely you can score very good and get out of marks from this chapter. Because one more benefit of this chapter is what? You are not going to have and solve any numericals from this chapter. Then purely if you want to get more marks, if you study complete theory of the chapter, then definitely so that will help you to get and score good marks from the physics, right? Then let us start the chapter semiconductor electronics. Right. First when we start, so the concept semiconductor electronics, that means in our present era or the condition you can observe throughout the world, science and the technology is playing a vital role. Then in the technology, what devices we are using? Electronic devices we are using, right? But there we are concentrating, we are focusing, investing more on the semiconductors only, right? And if you come to our Karnataka, the Bangalore is called a Silicon City. Yes, and that too in the world, Bangalore is called a Silicon City because most of the companies are so developed in our country, that too especially in Karnataka, that too in Bangalore only. And they are based on what? They are preparing the electronic materials only. Yes, then it is a very interesting chapter to learn how the semiconductor electronics is going to play the vital role. Then here we will study the basic nature of the devices which are used here, and also we will come to know why we have to invest on the semiconductors only. Why can't more on the conductor and the insulators? Okay, that point will be discussed here. Then first point is to understand what are the conductors, semiconductors and the insulators, right? And before that, remember here the semiconductor device, that means semiconductor electronics is a branch. It is a branch of the physics which deals with the study of devices such as diodes, triodes, rectifiers, etc. Right? So this is a branch of the physics which deals with the study of diodes, that are called as PN junctions also, and transistors, and then about the rectifiers and amplifiers, all those will come here, right? Then here we also focus on digital electronics, because at a present you can see that our SIM, how much size it will be? Very small size, and now earlier we were using micro size, but nowadays even a nano size of the chip, and that we memory chip or the SIM chip we are calling, that we are using. Then on that chip only the IR, that means integrated circuit, is present, right? That is all based on the fact that the semiconductor electronics only, right? And here when you go for a automatic switch and off circuits, there also the logic gate concept will be used, right? Then in this chapter what we are going to learn in detail means, first we study about the conductors, insulators and the semiconductors and their properties and their classification, first based on their conductivity and resistivity. Second, their classification based on the chemical composition, and next based on the energy band theory. Okay, then later we move to the particular point, so what are the intrinsic semiconductor, extrinsic semiconductor. There the point comes, the pure state of the semiconductor and the impure state of the semiconductor, and especially when we go with the extrinsic semiconductor, again there is a P and N type of the material differentiation will come. Okay, then when this P and N material made a junction, that only we call as the diode here, and that diode is playing a vital role in the semiconductor devices or in the electronics. Okay, so then next is about how the rectifiers are working. See, in most of the situation we need to convert the AC into the direct DC, right? So there what we are using, we are changing there, we are using some instruments or the devices, they are taken as a rectifiers, and how they are working here actually, all the points we are going to cover here. And one more very important branch, that is optoelectronics. Optoelectronics means opto means what? That is a light, because already we studied the optics. Opto means a light, and optoelectronics means by using the light we can convert into the light energy, sound energy and different things, we can heat energy like that. That also we are studying here. Then under the optoelectronics we will study about the photodiodes and solar cell, and that will be studied here. Yes, and their applications also, how the solar cell will be used, right? So and later digital circuits will be studied, how that on and off state of the circuit is working, how that is automatic switch and switch on is taking place. So everything will be studied. That is, gates will come, the three fundamental gates such as first one is OR gate, AND gate and the NOT gate, and when that AND is combined with the NOT gate, NAND gate will be formed. When the OR gate combined with the NOT, that forms a NOR gate. Like that 5 different gates and their truth table also, and the Boolean expression also we are going to get. So this is a what I am explaining, that is a brief introduction about the chapter what we are studying. And see here, some are what I told already, fixed questions are there. For example, differentiation between the P-type, N-type material. For that every year the question is coming for the either 2 or the 3 marks, right? And if you go with the optoelectronics, there they may ask you about the principle involved in that optoelectronics, or they may ask about the applications of that devices which we are using, right? And if you come to the beginning part of the chapter, that is about the classification of the conductors, insulators and the semiconductors based on their band theory. That is every year question is coming from here, right? If this question is not coming, definitely the half wave rectifier or the full wave rectifier, in these two one will be asked compulsory. So it is very easy to get the marks from this chapter, right? Then let us start now. What are the semiconductors? Why we are preferring semiconductors only? As I told just now, semiconductors are having more durability. That means time expansion, the usage of that semiconductor will be increased for a more time. Yes, and they are small in a size. We can carry them. They are lightweight. See, if you look at the mobile and its a SIM card, what is the weight difference you are finding? SIM is a very small, isn't it? So then they are small in a size and they have the more durability and they are less expensive also. If you go with the semiconductor, they are less expensive and they can be stored easily also. If you want to store them, they can be stored easily. That is why we are preferring to study and use the semiconductors most in our modern technology. Okay, then let us move forward to study about the conductors, insulators and the semiconductors based on their conductivity or resistivity, right? And see, in your lower classes also you studied and you know the point very clear. What are conductors? First point comes here, conductors. Conductors, what does it mean? Simple, the devices or the materials which have low resistivity or high conductivity. If you want to say based on the classification of the conductors, insulators and semiconductors based on their resistivity or the conductivity, then conductors means they will be having high conductivity or low resistivity. Am I clear? So conductors are the materials which have high conductivity or low resistivity, both we can say. Yes, then what will be the order of either conductivity or the resistivity? The order of the conductivity that order may be 10 raised to 2 Siemens per meter to 10 raised to 8 Siemens per meter. Remember, the SI unit of the conductivity is Siemens per meter. Am I clear? So then resistivity. What is the order of the resistivity? Its order is same number only, but negative will come, because as I told they have the low resistivity. So it is of the order 10 raised to minus 2 ohm meter to 10 raised to minus 8 ohm meter. Yes, so such a type of the materials are called conductors, right? Then moving to the next one, that are insulators. Insulators. What are the insulators? The materials which have high resistivity or low conductivity. These are exactly opposite to the conductors, right? The insulators and for the conductor, the best examples are all metals present in the periodic table that are acting as a conductors here, right? And that too good conductor. And among them, which is the best conductor of electricity means that is a silver, and next we prefer the copper only. Yes, okay. So coming to the point, insulators, the materials which have high resistivity and or you can say or low conductivity. Low conductivity. Then again same for the conductivity we have, and see, conductivity is represented by a letter sigma and the resistivity is represented by the letter rho here. Okay, so this symbol represents the resistivity and this represents the conductivity, and we very clearly know in the chapter 3 that is both resistivity and conductivity are reciprocal to each other, right? Yes, then here conductivity is of the order 10 raised to minus 11 to Siemens meter to 10 raised to minus 19 Siemens per meter, because conductivity is low here. Then what will be high here? Resistivity. Then it comes positive, 10 raised to 11 ohm meter to 10 raised to plus 19 ohm meter. Am I clear? So this is what about insulators, and few of the examples for the insulators are wood, plastic, mica, thermocol. So such a materials we consider as the insulators. They do not pass the electricity, or they are the bad conductor of the heat also, right? So moving to the next point, that is semiconductors. Semiconductors. What are semiconductors? So semi means they will be having the half partial property of the conductors and a partial property of the insulators. The materials which are lying, or their properties are lying between conductors and the insulators, they are called as the semiconductors. Am I clear? So these are the materials, their property will be lying between the partially conductors, or you can also say they partially act like a conductor, partially act like a insulators, that are called semiconductors. Then the good example for the semiconductors are silicon and the germanium. These are a pure form of the semiconductors, and sometimes these are also called as the metalloids. They are also called metalloids. Okay. So then here if you come with the conductivity and the resistivity, again same thing we found here. Conductivity means that is of the order 10 raised to minus 5, okay, plus 5 Siemens per meter to 10 raised to minus 6 Siemens per meter, right? And resistivity, if we talk, then it is of the order 10 raised to minus 5 ohm meter to 10 raised to plus 6 ohm meter. So this is the what the order of the conductors, insulators and the semiconductors. This is a classification based on resistivity and the conductivity. I hope the points are clear. Yes. Moving forward, that is a classification based on their chemical composition. Their chemical composition. Now we are classifying them based on their chemical composition. Here also the semiconductors, the conductors, they are classified into two types. The first one is elemental semiconductors, yes, and the second one compound semiconductors. And if you go with the elemental here, pure form, that is a silicon and the germanium are taken as the elemental semiconductors. Then if you go with the compound means you know that one element will be mixed with the another one. Therefore here that comes gallium arsenic, cadmium. So like that some of the compound semiconductors will be there. Yes. So this is a what? The classification based on their composition. I hope the points are clear. Okay. Then next we have to classify the conductors, insulators and the the semiconductors based on the band theory, that is the energy band theory. Then here first we need to understand what is the valence band, what is the conduction band and the energy gap between the bands. Then first let me explain you about the valence band. valence band. Right. Valence electrons. We know that what are valence electrons in your chemistry in detail you studied, and most of the time in our physics also we are using this term, that is a valence electrons. That means the electrons which are present at the outermost shell of the element. Right? Assume there is a carbon or any other element. Then how many number of the electrons present in its outermost shell? That means the last shell, that we call as the valence electron. Then the valence band means the band formed due to the number of the valence electrons is called valence band. Are you getting my point? So valence band means what? The number of the bands which are formed due to the valence electron, that is called valence band here, right? And this valence band may be filled partially or sometime completely. It may be filled partially or sometime it may be filled completely also. Okay. Then moving to the next point, that is a conduction band. Conduction band. What is the meaning of conduction band? Same here also. The energy bands which is formed due to the conducting electrons. How it is formed here, conduction band? It is formed due to the conducting electrons is called conduction band here. Okay. Then where it is lying? Conduction band is just above the valence band. So if you want to show with a diagram, I can write here, this is taken to be conduction band, and here I can write valence band. This is a valence band, and to change and understand clearly, we can represent with a different lines here. So this is a conduction band, that is formed due to the energy band due to the conducting electrons. Then here the valence electrons are playing. Then see dear students, between the conduction band and the valence band, are you finding a small gap? Yes, of course, right? Then that gap is called as the energy gap. That is called energy gap, right? The distance or the gap between the conduction band and the valence band energy is called as the energy gap, and it is having different value for the different materials, because conduction, for the conductors the energy gap is different, and for the insulators as well as for the semiconductors the energy gap is changing. Okay. So I hope the points are clear to you all, right? And further next class we study about how the materials are classified based on valence band, conduction band and the energy gap here. That is finally the energy band theory of the conductors, insulators and the semiconductors. Okay. So I hope the points are clear to you all. Thank you for watching my videos.